So of course, with the new year comes new resolutions, and not just any resolutions. You know, we always talk about the basic ones, how to stay healthy, but what about how to spend more family time together in 2013? Our WNWO Moms on the Go are here with more on that. Lisa Hars and Tiffany Tully. And we've got Molly and Allie not here. We missed them, but we've got someone filling in for the two this morning.
Definitely.
All right, ladies, good morning. It's a new year. We always feel refreshed, rejuvenated, and sometimes we tend to make a lot of personal goals. But it's all about the family in 2013. Lisa, what are some things that folks out there at home can do to make sure they get more family time, put down the gadgets and the technology this year?
Well, I think when everyone makes New Year's resolutions, they seem to always say, everyone says, I'm going to lose weight, going to the gym, like, you know, they're always the same thing every
And
year.
then it's always 3 weeks later when you break those same ones.
Right. So I think a lot of times people don't really realize it, but you can focus on like a family resolution or doing things more together. Like we're going to have a game night once a month, or we're going to make sure every week we sit down on Thursday night and play Candyland. Whatever your family and your kids' ages are, I think it's important to try to do things together as a family, and as opposed to just thinking like, this year I'm going to do this. You know, maybe we're going to watch less TV, or even a resolution that says, you know, my kids are only going to watch one show this time. Something to cut down and make a little more time for everyone as a family together.
We'll talk about how to keep that in just a second, but Tiffany, tell us about the different, I mean, you've got small ones, so it might be a little easier to implement. When you've got the older ones and, you know, they've got their iPod, iPad, all of these gadgets, technology, the video games, how do you manage that?
You know, my oldest is only 6. Actually, she'll be 7 in a couple weeks. But so we don't have a ton of technology at home. But we are talking about really getting into reading more as a family, and maybe even getting that like 10, 15, 20 minutes of quiet time that everybody in the house has to go and find a book, magazine, something, and just literally cut it all off, turn the TV off. And, you know, I have a 4-year-old at home that does. She grabs her book, she joins us. And, you know, it's something we're just getting started with, but that was kind of my goal this year. She's getting into reading. We also started a little book club in the family, and I kind of took the idea from a friend, and I read a chapter to my youngest, where my oldest reads a chapter, you know, before she goes to bed. And it's something we can talk about, and it just kind of carries on throughout the day, so it's not just go read and it's done, close the book and don't talk about it. So that's been kind of fun. It's kind of something new that we've done, and we even had a neighbor girl do it too. So she had the same book and said, I want to join in and I want to read. So my 6-year-old spends time on the phone with her friend talking about a book. And you know, I can't complain about that at all.
Now I've got to ask you though, because books are changing.
That's cute.
True.
Right.
I mean, the hard copied books and magazines, things like that, where they're not the newer forms, where we're not talking about Kindles or reading from your cell phone or iPad, because that's a distraction because there's other apps that are on there, right?
Right. Well, obviously a lot of them with the Kindle Fire now, there's a ton of apps on it, and it has turned into an iPad form. I don't. I have an old e-reader that has no apps, so I've kind of cut myself off of that. But and then my little ones don't have e-readers yet because they're just learning to read. So I do think it's important to have books. You know, I have a bookshelf of books.
Right.
You know, so to keep it on display and that kind of thing, and just sort of make it this. You implement it. This is what we're doing, and you just kind of make it happen. And I think though it will be. You'll have some resistance from the children at the beginning. I think it's something if you keep doing and you find out that everybody's having fun, that maybe they'll be more apt to do it and enjoy it as well.
All right, Lisa and Tiffany, we'll talk about what to do in week 3, 4, and 5 to keep those New Year's resolutions in the 6 o'clock hour. So ladies, hang tight. Thank you so much. Yeah, keep Rover inside, and he can be a part of all the family fun that's going to hopefully happen in your household in 2013. We're going back to the basics, and that's why our WNWO Moms on the Go are here with some examples. We've got Lisa Hars and Tiffany Tully, a special guest, filling in for Molly and Allie this morning. Well, ladies, earlier we talked about how important family fun is, family time, and how much fun it can be. But now you've brought some specific examples, and we're going back to the basics, right, Lisa?
Yeah, it's just hard. Like, you know, with the new year, everyone's resolutions always seem to be just like oriented on losing weight and staying healthy and things for individuals. And we kind of wanted to target like families as a whole and ways to get back around the dinner table or get together every night and do something, as opposed to just, you know, sending your kid to watch TV or play on the iPad. Just something more for everyone.
And Tiffany, you have perfect examples from your company. You've brought some supplies that come in a backpack, already ready for parents, the necessities. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I'm co-owner of a company called Backpack Learning, and we make educational games for that home learning fun. And the idea is that it just enhances what's already happening in the classrooms, and encourages parents to spend a few minutes and going over that, all those lessons that they are learning. And so in front of you here we have, we actually have what we call a math pack that comes in this red backpack, and it contains over 50 different games, activities to play. There are things like adding, subtracting, even talking about money. You're having treasure hunts.
It's important to learn early, because if you start on a bad note, it's like a lifelong thing, trust
Well,
me.
and what kid doesn't like money and playing with
Yeah.
it, right? Even just really getting to understand numbers, and what you're holding is a hundreds chart and counting, and questions like 5. Is 5 closer to 1 or is it closer to 100?
And you may be surprised as parents what your kids do and don't know.
What they don't know or what they do know, and just kind of encouraging in that way. It's from measuring things around the house, treasure hunts, and just really spending that few minutes running around the house and playing those games. And they're meant to be 5 to 25 minutes of your time, whatever you guys are going to do to sit down and partake in it. And the cool part about the backpack is it not only comes with games, it comes with all the materials that you need. So when you do have that few minutes, you open up your bag, grab a game, and you're on your way.
And so this could be too for obviously a variety of different ages depending on the skill level, but a great thing to incorporate to get your kids not only active, but it's exercising their brain, so it can help them in school as well.
Well, and especially like we just had 2 weeks off of school. So it's something that we did at home. We spent a few minutes every day doing a different game, and it enhanced what they're doing in the classroom, but we didn't have homework for 2 weeks. We've all been eating and celebrating and that kind of thing. So it was fun to do at home. This one specifically is for your 4 to 7, 8-year-olds.
Okay.
And we do have some literacy where you're learning letter sounds and getting into sight words in your early reading.
Now here's what I have a question for you about. If your child has already been introduced to technology and you're trying to wean them off of playing on your iPad or whatever it may be, how do you get them from going on something that's very interactive, in your face, a lot of different games, to something that may be boring to them?
Well,
maybe a little bit more traditional.
I'm big on thinking that your positive attitude starts to travel to them. And if you're happy about it, if you're excited, you're getting the whole family to do it, there's no reason mom and dad and little sister or brother aren't getting involved as well. And I really think it's one of those things, if you say every night after dinner, 10 minutes, this is what we're doing, sure, you're going to get some resistance at first. But they are fun. They're meant to be running around the house and collecting things and measuring, those type of things that seem educational, but when you get them up and moving and get everybody involved, it will be fun.
I've noticed with kids too, they only find interesting what you show is interesting as well. So they tend to take after what their parents have an interest in.
I mean, if you're bummed out about it, going, all right, let's play.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to play with you. Then they're not going to want to do that either.
Exactly.
So I think it's a whole family attitude towards it.
All right, and really quick, we want to ask you, where can folks go if they're interested in picking up one of these backpacks?
Backpacklearning.com.
All right, Tiffany and Lisa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Very good advice, and Happy New Year to you ladies.